Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to take a look at Winter Storm GIA, 30% of the U.S. affected, air travel delays, massive interstate closures. We're going to take a look at where the storm has been, where it's going to, how much snow you can expect, as well as through the next couple of weeks, how cold it's going to get across the Northern Hemisphere and in which areas. St. Louis about to break all-time record snow again since 2014, second time. But in Romania and Europe, this is a forest that was buried in their snowstorms. Media will keep telling you it's CO2, and a way to mitigate this and stop runaway global warming is to have your pets now eat soldier fly food for dogs and a nice Bob Ross-esque snow-predicted oil on canvas. And during these uncertain times, I've teamed up with my Patriot Supply long-term food storage, a nice affordable starter kit, 2-week food supply, 1,500 calories per day, breakfast, lunch, and dinners, plus the 4-gallon storage containers included in that. This is a good first step in getting more self-sufficient. And if you click through the Prepare with ADAPT 2030 page in My Patriot Supply, you can get this starter kit for $75. Please remember there's a limit of 2 per household in this special offer. Winter Storm GIA didn't even have a name. They just made one up because the National Weather Service closed for the government shutdown in the U.S. Now, this storm is severe, canceling thousands of flights across the U.S. Airlines are going to allow you to rebook and waive fees if you can't get to the airport because of interstate conditions or some other travel delays. There's so many canceled flights going on that your flight's probably not going to leave anywhere if it's landing anywhere in 30% of the United States covered by this storm. Now, even with the government closure, NOAA is still staying alive up on the web, showing you the alerts. Now, anywhere in the Northeast that you see the red and the blue, that's winter storm warning, blizzard effect. But when we come out to the desert Southwest, that blue, that's winter warnings as well. And the gray that you see up in Pacific Northwest, that's extreme fog. And just behind that is another Arctic front. Now, taking a look at the snow totals here, it's important to see where this storm has been, how it's getting a lot of Gulf moisture colliding with the Arctic air, and then where it's going to drop the rest of the snow as this passes through the eastern half of the United States. You can see the dark purple, that's where the heaviest snows are going to be, and then when we get into the light purple, it's even heavier. So this is the forecast going out for the next couple of days. Now, the current snow cover is not exactly matching that because what you just saw was the forecast going out through the next 72 hours. What I don't understand with the Weather Channel here is that white in the center on the Pacific Northwest in the mountain areas, that blows past the heaviest. So they should even have another band with the white to extreme heavy or uber heavy snow cover, which they don't. But anyway, it gives you a good indication about where the snow cover is currently. And we're just going to move right along and give a more detailed forecast as where you can expect along the eastern seaboard. Travel is treacherous, to say the least. It's as heavy, wet snow, and then it turns to ice. An enormous amount of traffic congestion, accidents, deaths, road closures, interstate closures, and full-on delays. This is just around St. Louis area here. They had 3,900 calls for service help. Over 1,700 stranded motorists, almost 900 crashes, and it just keeps going on. Now, this is just one state and one small area. So as this storm moves, you can expect this state after state. Glimpse down on the infrared satellite. You can see where the Gulf moisture is being pulled up. Then from the north, we have those cooler temperatures, and it's combining in the middle. And as you look at the pictures of interstate conditions as the storm is passing, it's just like this. So if you're comfortable driving in these conditions, great. If you're not, I would stay off the roads for sure because others are unused to driving in this, and that's really the danger of the people who aren't as prepared for these road conditions as yourself. Now, heading into the grand solar minimum, it was expected that we'd be getting heavier snowfalls and we'd be breaking records back 400 years or so as we get into this 400-year cycle of the grand solar minimum. St. Louis set to break the heaviest 2-day snowfall on record So I chased down the story, and then what's interesting on the CNN feed here is they show St. Louis also broke its all-time snow record in 2014, and here we go again. That's going to get broken this storm. So it seems to be matching up as another check the box of intensification of the grand solar minimum. So they're calling it a lazily accumulating snow event here, where it just continues to snow and snow and snow, and it goes from what you see on the left side over to the right side in about 24 hours, but it's a continuous snow. There's not going to really be breaks in it or bands. It's just full-on, continuous, accumulating snow. So over here to Ryan Maue, weathermodels.com, get a glimpse of the snow and the water accumulation inside there, looking for Washington, D.C. above 6 inches. And also out to the far west of the map there, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri. This is about how much more snow will be at the tail end of the event. Another foot or so in some locations, 6 inches across others. Now, when it's tapering off there, it's starting to build elsewhere further on the East Coast. So as we come into the next 48 hours or so, through the 13th, 14th of January, the original forecasts were 4 to 6 inches for D.C. That still kind of holds. You might get 8 or so, but the models are showing as it runs through distinct band of compression where this storm's going to be forced to drop the snow. And as it gets closer into D.C., it's going to bunch up and then hook south. And we start to see something just like this. That band right in the center is where the hook and the compression in the atmosphere occurs, where it starts to bunch up. And instead of having that, what they call lazy snow, you're going to get incredible snowfalls right in the center there. They're looking at about 2 feet coming down in that really bright band in the center. And the first accumulations in North Carolina starting to happen right now. That's on the border with Virginia. This image here is a little bit higher elevation and just before sunset today, so you can see about how much snow is coming down, but it's that really wet, sticky snow again. There's very little accumulation. Everything is sticking to where it touches, especially trees, poles, etc. We keep hearing global warming. Alaska's so hot. Oh my gosh, it's super hot this year, but it's minus 31 degrees Fahrenheit at almost 10 a.m. at Fairbanks. And then taking a look at the longer-term forecast here, Joe Bastardi putting out the 60-day outlook. Going to get cold across the U.S. and parts of Asia. More snowstorms and blizzards on the way for Europe. If you're in Europe, there's another Snowmageddon on the way. Snowmageddon 2.0. And what do I mean by Snowmageddon? In the States, you're thinking 6 inches, a foot, 2 feet. Wow, that's a lot of snow. But you have to realize what has just happened across Europe is literally unprecedented. They're trying to unbury countries over there. That's how much snow has come down. Romania, for example, what you're looking at is a forest. And when I say a forest, it is a pine forest. This is how much snow came down. It buried the forest. They've had 18 feet of snow in Austria, where the army is trying to dig out people and rescue them and deliver supplies into areas that are not even 1,000 feet in elevation. It is that buried in Austria. They're expecting another 20 feet of snow or so in this next event coming through the week. So what's already been buried is going to be reburied again. Italy, Austria, parts of Germany, Slovenia, and Romania remain buried under 17 plus feet of snow with another almost 20 feet of snow on the way. European governments are declaring emergencies, and they're all calling it a Snowmageddon. Now, this is all blamed on global warming, of course. Couldn't have anything to do with the grand solar minimum, the intensification, astrophysicists, solar physicists, all calling for incredible intensifications and entry straight into colder conditions 2020 that are affecting crop production. No, it couldn't be that. Still has to be global warming. So in all of the insanity of the Snowmageddon going on in Europe, the BBC tries to have you now switch to have your dog eat soldier flies, dog food, to help protect the environment. This is becoming borderline insanity. Instead of really talking about the issues that are affecting our societies and our countries, this late season push, what you've seen with the long extended forecasts out into March and April, that's going to delay the planting across the Northern Hemisphere. But instead of talking about that, they want you to have your dog eat flies. But in a moment of quiet contemplation, Bob Ross-esque, snow predicted, oil on canvas. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please stay safe. This is an incredible storm. Wet, icy. Not good to be out. It's a great day to just stay home, read a book, light a fire, whatever you want to do. Catch up on something. Catch up with people. But if you like this type of information, I'm loading it on Steam in a written format, PDF, so you can follow along with the video with the graphics and images, and also the Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast, talking about the grand solar minimum, the intensification, how it's going to affect your family, your lives, our society, the economy, in 30 minutes at a time on the go. Mini Ice Age Conversations, anywhere you can find a podcast hosted across the net.